So your first big commission, how much was it?
I mean, big commission, I mean, what does big mean? Like, I mean, for me, when I left my job, it was like, I need to get into that space. And I'm going to say the biggest thing for me was I need to earn at least what I'm earning now from doing that.
For sure.
Okay. So I'd say that was my first big commission, so to speak, because, you know, I've earned, 10 times what that was now in a month, but that still felt the biggest to me because it was that moment of realization that everything that I've told myself I could do, I have just done, and it's only going up from here. So I think my first, probably, it was about £2,500, right? Now, the reason that felt so big to me was because my previous job, I was only earning £2,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
I've then earned that at home on my computer, and I'd done a fraction of the hours. I think for the month I'd done maybe 30 hours for the month, right? So an absolute fraction of what I'd done previously. But the reason that I wanted to transition into this was the freedom that it gives me. I can do it from anywhere. I'm my own boss. I control my own calendar. And I've done all of those things, which is what I got into the industry for. And I've topped the wage that I had previously.
Yes.
So to me, that just felt ginormous,
Yeah. So when you made your first big commission, did you then realize that this is the real deal?
Yes, 100%. As much as I'd told myself and I was very much confident and I knew what I could do in the industry, when it's there, that's that concrete evidence that you need to really just fully push yourself in that area, And as soon as that happened, I had got the confidence in myself, I'd got the confidence in the industry, I'd got the confidence in the product, and I'd got the confidence in the company that I was working for. I'd got the team that I had around me, the whole structure, the setup, it was perfect. I knew that right here is the foundation that I have got that I need to propel myself and grow and obviously get to those next levels. As soon as I made that money, I knew I can make 10 times this. I knew I could right here on this company. I know I can do it because all I need to do is upskill myself, get better at this, apply myself. And I knew that from the moment that happened. So 100%, yeah, that was massive for me, making that.
So for people that might be watching this and they want to get into high ticket sales, would you say it's extremely profitable?
100%. It is very much so if you're good at it.
If you're good at it.
I'm a big believer that everybody has got something that they can be very profitable at, right? Now, I know for a fact there's people that I know in my life that wouldn't be able to earn the money that I do in what I do because they don't have the skill set that I do. Now, does that mean that they couldn't go and get it? No, they probably could go and get it. But would it come naturally to them? Probably not. Definitely something that's massively lucrative. You can make a lot of money in it if you're good at it, right?
Yeah.
But it can also be a very demoralizing, hard thing if you're not in the right area. There's a lot of people that are in high ticket sales and they're really struggling because, typically to actually get on a roll and to get into an offer, to get into one of these places, people want experience, because it's such a different type of sales to, say, the other areas of sales that I've spoken about. There's people that will try and get into the roles that I'm at, and they've spent 10, 15 years in car sales or that kind of sales, but they're not going to get a sniff like the people that I work with. They don't want to work with those people because they're so aware of how different it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
To the job I have now, right? I haven't had they haven't checked a single qualification. No background check. There's absolutely nothing like that.
Yeah.
It was just a solid evaluation on how I appeared on that interview. Okay. So as a salesperson, when you're on an interview, okay, you're selling yourself. So you're actually demonstrating your skills live when you're on that interview.
Yeah.
So when people are looking at hiring, it's less about the experience and the qualifications that you've got, so to speak, because quite frankly, we live in a world where you could make that up. This isn't like you're walking into a corporate world where you have to have your GCSEs, your A-levels, your degree, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
This is a completely different world, okay? Whereby it's very much just, built on how someone evaluates you. Now, I very much came across well on the interviews that I did because I knew what they were looking for. So I just sold myself in the way that they would be looking for, so to speak.
Yeah.
They're looking for people that can speak well, with confidence, their tonality is good, because that's what's going to close deals. They know that.
Yeah.
And so if I'm doing that on the interview, regardless of what I'm saying, I've got all the qualifications I've got. Realistically, that's what they're looking at.
Yeah.
So it's very much something that you can make a lot of money in, but as I was saying with the trading, it has to be something you treat with respect. It's not something you're going to waddle into. It's something you have to take with very much seriousness, and you have to, you don't want to try and run before you can walk.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, definitely something you can make a lot of money in.
Okay then. How many deals do you typically close in a month?
Depends how many calls I'll take. It really just depends how many calls I'll take. So anywhere from, I'd say, 10 to 20 on average these days. But because I'm controlling my calendar, if I want to turn my calendar off for, a week or two, I'm not taking calls.
All right then. So talk to me more about the freedom in sales. So are you able to work whatever time you want, or is it you're given a set time to answer calls or make calls?
So the offer I'm on, I'm very much in complete control of my calendar because they trust me as the salesperson, because I've proven time and time again that I will bring money in.
Yeah.
And so they very much trust me to manage my own calendar, okay? A lot of companies aren't like that, okay? There will be companies that, for example, will be more cautious, and they'll be more rigid on the actual hours that you're going to have to use, for example.
Yeah.
But at my company, it's not necessarily like that. So to give you a bit more of an understanding about how the calendar actually works, right? I'll set my availability. So today, for example, I had a call before this today, right? Yeah. So I set the availability for that. I blocked out 3 hours because I know we're doing this. And then I've opened it up for 4 hours after, because I think I'll work then, okay? So those are the hours that I'll choose to work. Now, when people come through the funnel, which is like the advertisement, and then they go through like a profiling, they fill out an application and such, they then get put through to a link where they can book into my calendar. Yeah. So they're just seeing the slots that are available, that I've made available, and then they book into it, for example. Okay. So, if I want to make more money, I can open my calendar 8 a.m. to 8 p.m, and like that will fill up, and that's what I'm going to work. Yes. If I, want to work less on another day, maybe I open it for 4 slots. So it's completely in my control. Like I have complete control of what I want to do. Yes. I spend a lot of time traveling as well. For example, I've just done a month in America. Yeah. Now, I still wanted to very much take like calls while I was over there. Of course. But typically the UK hours for people, best time as far as I'm concerned for people to hop on calls, probably between 12 midday to like 9 in the evening. Okay. So then I'm just moving my calendar, because obviously I'm 5-6 hours behind. So I was working like 6 till 3, 6 till 4 in the mornings, but that's just because that's what I choose to do. I do genuinely have complete control over the calendar.
So if you was just money hungry, you could do as much hours as you wanted to.
Yeah, if I really wanted to, I could probably earn double what I earn now if I just open my calendar up to a maximum amount.
Very flexible then, would you say?
Yeah, very much so. All
right then. So when you are in work mode, how do you prepare for a big deal before a big deal?
I'm very big on